Repetitive gameplay that barely changes. Created a whole genre of games that copy it. The entire series is a copy and paste with the last one with minimum additions. The lore just relies on YouTubers to make hour-long videos filled with them making their headcanon since the game doesn't have any real lore. The creators glaze as if he is the second coming of Jesus for some reason, somehow considered classics. Why do people like FromSoft games again? Damn. Damn. Got him. Thoughts on the movie Weapons? No clue, haven't seen it. If your mom wants to go out with me, maybe I'll see it this weekend. Got him. Don't have time to watch this. Let's see if we can get through whatever for news today.
Resistance in DC is already forming on the ground, and I could not be more proud to see these images. Only hours after Donald Trump made two huge announcements. Number one, that he was going to mobilize the National Guard into DC, up to 1,000 troops.
Any Brad Taste news? What possible news could there be? Is something else going to happen with him, or?
In an unprecedented and unnecessary action. But then two, he was federalizing the DC police force, all 4,000 cops, so they were all under his control. They were wrapped around his finger. It was a clear consolidation of power for zero reason. Trump claims there's been an insane spike in crime, but he points to one random case that happened last week of a burglary, and then tries to ignore the decades of data showing crime dropping. So once more, this is unnecessary and a dangerous consolidation of power, and we need to speak out. Let's walk through some of the signs that we see on the ground. We'll walk through some of the videos of protests that we
He's apologizing for being on a show with you. Wait, where at?
See forming, and then we'll talk about what the mayor, Muriel Bowser, is saying right now. First, let's start here. I want to give you
thoughts. Any comments on thoughts? Thoughts on thoughts you expect? Right now, I'm just spreading my tendrils again. That's what I'm doing. As Geopolitical recedes and my enemies all crash out. Now I'm just... Apparently, Geopolitical and Kelly both got permaban from Spicy Chat. I just don't get why Jessica was lying about when he started fucking Cherry. It's so fucking annoying just how he was in here acting like it's impossible to even think of the fact that they were fucking with each other while he was using her as a sword of justice. Jessica's such a bitch, bro. I'm glad that his editor got exposed for beating bitches. Damn. I don't understand how... What's the meme where it's like... Man says, I dare you to shoot me, and gets shot and killed. I feel like that was Geopolitical was like screaming into the sky as Kelly with her like orbital strike cannon just fucking obliviated Geopolitical. I don't know why he was so confident on this. I guess he just didn't think that Kelly would start leaking stuff. Like, Geopolitical basically goes live and he just spends like 2 hours going through everything, saying Kelly's lying about every single thing. And she just starts leaking thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, and just goes, she's lying. It keeps calling her like a lying cunt, and it's just like, Kelly makes things up, and if I prove she's lying, it's because I lied to her. XD, very cool, Kelly. So did you lie to me about the unsolicited nudes too, and just told me it was true live on stream from memes? Oh, because apparently Jessica complained to Kelly early on that Cherry was just sending him fucking material and shit that he, like, non-consensually, he didn't ask for or whatever. And then apparently Jessica never believed Cherry's story initially, and he started to spiral hardcore on it about her, I guess, about her accusations on me. Jessica was saying, I am going after Cherry. Little snake, fuck, you told me this stuff, you fucking freak. You didn't believe your girlfriend right away when you were spiraling about the leaked tape not being serially recorded. How is that me attacking Cherry? It's just like so much crazy shit. He said that he could disprove everything, and he's instead going over Destiny shit again. I think Kelly leaked one of the emails. Apparently that Justical sent to Cherry when they were both spiraling on each other. Where is that? Wait, link me that email, and then I don't need to go over this that much. I just think it's fucking... Jesus Christ. The Willie, Augie, and Queeman debate is also heating up. It's becoming a commentary civil war. So many battles happening. The Augie dude, I don't know if anybody has a link to fuck, somebody, the food shops person was watching my stream. That Augie guy, what, did I do something to him? Because that dude hates me. Oh my God. What does spiraling mean in this context? I don't know. Jessica sent some email to, Cherry saying like, I'm sorry that I've sent you so many emails. Like I've deleted everything from my stream if it offends you. Like I didn't mean to do this or whatever. It's just like crazy. Yeah, just crazy unhinged shit. Yeah, but that Augie guy was on Jessica's stream saying I'm like literally the worst person on the internet right now. And I'm like, Jesus. Holy Christ. When did Jessica and Cherry start fucking? I don't know, January, I guess. But I'm not saying Pixie needed to want to fuck Jessica. Jessica just needed the personal motivation to defend her because he won't do anything unless he sees personal gain, which frankly wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't such a dishonest fuck about it. And let's be real, the reason Jessica flipped isn't really because he wanted to fuck Cherry. It's because he correctly identified the tide shifting. Jessica's been wanting to fuck Cherry since the 15-2 shit happened, and this popping off gave him the perfect DM slide-in material. Jesus. It's interesting to me that Justical, or Queeman by proxy, claims he wrecked his own career and flipped on Destiny because of his loyalty to Cherry, but also there was absolutely nothing romantic there at the time. He just couldn't continue to sweep for Destiny once the Cherry allegations came out because his part-time co-host for his Destiny sloppy second stream was so important to him. Crazy that they're all understanding now, huh? Friendly reminder. Damn. Rip. Okay. Anyway. What is 15.2? For some reason, Cherry decided to weaponize a private conversation that we had while she was here and misrepresent the fuck out of it to attack Melina. This is so much autistic, weird BPD freak out shit. Sometimes Melina would go into my chat and Melina would say shit like, she would say like, choke me, and she'd type like an emote or whatever. And Cherry got it into her mind because she gets like paranoid delusions. Like when we were at the DC event, Cherry thought that Kyla set up the entire event just to capture pictures of a group where Cherry looked bad. Unironically, I'm not joking. That Cherry legitimately believed this. She might still believe this to this day. I'm not sure. And then when Melina was making comments in chat, like Melina would come in and just type a random thing sometimes. She's like, choke me, MLW. Cherry got convinced that Melina was doing this because I told Melina Cherry claims that she told me while she was here at the end of 2020, she claims she told me that her husband was like abusing her. And that I told Melina, I don't remember ever her husband. I don't remember her saying anything bad about her husband ever. Her husband seemed like a cool dude. I've never heard anything bad about him ever. And she's like, I know you told Melina this just so she would make fun of me. And then one of the things that when Cherry was here chatting, Cherry was like, oh, like sometimes I feel like I lose sexual interest at the end of my relationships. And I say, oh yeah, like I have the same issue sometimes too. Cherry decided to tweet because I wasn't responding to her enough at TwitchCon because I told her like, bro, I'm not gonna have this fight with you right now. Like, Jesus Christ. Cherry tweets out like, oh, Destiny, his wife hates me because I fucked him over the weekend and made him come 15 times. He only made me come 2 times. And that's why his wife hates me. So first of all, these numbers are not accurate. Secondly, Cherry had like hardcore like vaginismus. Okay, so she's like a hard time getting off periods. I don't know why she would like take to Twitter and start leaking shit. Well, it's because she had some compulsive need to get a response out of me. And then yeah, to weaponize something I said just to try to like shit on Melina because I wasn't responding. It was just like a whole fucking crash out BPD like cringe shit. Yeah, but ugh. Oh, it was... The only time Steven replied to me tonight was to act confused as to why I would think I'm being mocked. His wife upset the first time him and I ever hooked up because we went 15x in 2 days, and with her, he will barely fuck once a month. And instead of resolving her issues with Steven, she would call me obsessed, dick sucker, whore, and I didn't fucking understand why. At the time, I didn't know they were barely intimate. This is like not true. She's weaponizing the fuck out of a thing that I told her to be nice, you know, when she was here complaining about her stuff in her relationships. He would message me less, and I started opening up more, meaning I was creating space and she was getting unhinged. thinking if he understood me, he'd get me and we'd be okay again. But instead, he told me I was too much drama. Melina's big issue with Cherry was that Cherry kind of, like, people don't know this, I was just fucking retarded, but Cherry kind of like Me Too'd me twice before the last one she did on top of Pixie's stuff. But like Cherry would have like a cycle where Cherry would be a little bit crazy, and she would realize it like 2 weeks later, and then she'd come back. Because when Cherry's like at her best, Cherry's a really cool person. She legitimately is a cool person when she's not having her moments, right? Her political content that she was doing was really good. Like, she's funny. Like, at her best, like, she's good. But when she's having her moments, she's like, yeah, not good. I had drama dumped about being choked, and after his wife would literally just go in his chat when I was there and type "choke me, Mel W." Like, this is just an unhinged thing to link together, but. Add the K to his name, 53322. Hold on. 533. Oh, is this the Augie crash out?
But when Destiny's...
Hold on. I've never attacked his wife, despite how fucking awful it felt to be hated for liking an open person. But she does it without being obvious that she's doing it, or get Steven to wipe her fucking chat logs and pretend like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. Oh, that was another thing. I think Melina had made a comment in chat about like how she thought that the judge was like a boomer or something, her court case. And I had, I don't even know who ran them at the time, but I had them just wipe her logs in case somebody tries to like send it and start shit or whatever with her case that she had in Sweden over like tax stuff. And Cherry was like, I know that you wiped all of her logs to protect her from me. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I don't know. It was a whole ass thing, but you know, whatever. Wait. 5, okay.
He's sitting there being like, oh, you know, Nick Fuentes like lies about me and says that I tried to deplatform him, when that's exactly what he tried to do back in 2019. Even situations like that, it's like, that's bullshit. There's
2019. What are we talking about?
clips of you reporting his fucking Twitch account. He's a fucking liar. He's a chronic liar. He's a narcissist. He's a fucking drug addict.
Wait.
There's clips of you reporting his fucking Twitch account. He's a fucking liar. He's a chronic liar. He's a narcissist. He's a fucking drug addict. He's an unstable, fucking emotional retard. He's a piece of shit to the people around him. I really fucking hate Destiny. I really fucking hate him. And I hate that people are so stupid that they still buy his bullshit to this day. You have no excuses after Pixie. Before then,
like, I feel like I do political commentary. I'm not even that involved with these people anymore. Like, Jessica's only here as my #1 power fan because I empowered this guy so much after stream to like host him and shit to have a career. Like, I feel like I've built so many careers or helped so many people. It's such an unhinged opinion to have about me. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's, or maybe I'm biased because it's me, but like, Jesus, how can you have this strong of a feel? I don't even interact with the commentary community that much.
maybe you did, right? But after Pixie, that was the moment where we all collectively should have realized, you know, Destiny is a fucking maniac and he should go down.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing, or not funny, but the other thing about the Pixie thing is, like, people say it's just the Pixie thing. That's, like, the one credible thing. But, like, Melina and there's Stasia, this Curio Cactus girl on Twitter as well.
On Twitter? You mean the person who hangs out in your Discord 24/7 attacking me, right? Who is on your Discord. I don't think she's in there as much as like, but is constantly talking about your Discord, right? Not just... I like how he's like, oh, this person on Twitter, I think, pretending she's not in his Discord.
In those same leaks. And they both said, no, without, like, there was no consent there, right? And I understand people are like, oh, well, they haven't pursued a legal case, so I don't know how to take it seriously. But, like, there are 5 or 6 women who all have the same complaint, who have all said he sent this stuff non-consent.
Like how it gets, there's like one more added every time. Oh, this was the email that he just sent to Cherry.
Essentially, it's like starting to become a Cosby situation, right?
Wasn't Bill Cosby raping people? Am I misunderstanding that?
Where it's like, hey, yeah. I can understand, like, you maybe say one of them's, like, malicious, but all of them? Literally all of them? That seems unlikely, no?
I mean, it's just so fucking funny to me. Like, he does this, like, multiple times, and people still sit there and... I don't think Desi understood that he could get in trouble for this up until this year. Like, I feel like he was just
did.
like,
Hold on.
I can just do this.
Wait, did you not know that, Hold on, I got these clips loaded up all the time.
So I have these clips loaded up all the time. Wait, how old is this? I'm in California. Is this 4 or 5 years old?
Well, are you in the call right now? Can you join the presentation? You have any way to
Yeah,
share
let me do that.
stream?
Let me pull it up on stream. 1 second.
So I can just say it as well. In January of 2021, during the Bob 7 thing, apparently Destiny had been sending pornography of Melina, who's his wife at the time, to women that she hadn't approved of. So non-consensually sending her pornography to random girls. And when Melina found out about that, she chastised him in 2021. So he doesn't even have the argument of like, oh, I didn't realize this was that bad. No, he admits in this clip, in this section of this clip, oh yeah, I thought it was okay, but apparently it's not okay.
It's not even that. Without relitigating all my past relationships, we only recorded shit like explicitly to share with people. I guess we just had a difference in understanding in terms of like what the process was we were talking about. But like this is something we talked about back then and we figured it out afterwards. But it wasn't like I'm like recording stuff and sending it non-consensually. It was just like what is the conversation we have about like who we send what to or whatever.
Need to get explicit consent before.
But this is not even this is not anywhere near the same tier of what Pixie is accusing me of, which is fucking unhinged, or what Cherry's accusing me of, which is unhinged.
I do that, right? I play it for you. It's like, it's crazy that there's so many people who are like, oh, well, he's getting a second chance now. It's like, no, this is like chance 5.
Chance 5. True. Mm-hmm. Why are you giving Justical attention? Can you give Justical blacklist like you did some other people? All this giving attention is also boring. If you want this to stop, go talk to Hassan, okay? The problem is that all of these people are now elevated up through people like Bad Empanada and then platformed on Hassan's stream, right? Like all of this shit is brought up by the larger streamers because Hassan is incapable of because all of these leftist political streamers are incapable of having conversations of substance. They have to do these like weird fucking personal drama attacks constantly. Blame them for it, okay? I don't want to deal with it either. I'd rather just argue fucking politics all day. That's all I've been interested in for like past like 2 years. But I mean, like if people want to just dig up personal shit or go personal over and over again, then fuck it. I mean, we do that, I guess. When the court stuff is over, is there going to be a cope lap by Justical? Or no, the narrative on them has already changed to, apparently I already admitted to all the wrongdoings, so the court case outcome actually doesn't matter at all. That's where they're at right now. So after it ends and it gets lost or whatever, they're just going to say it didn't matter anyway, so that's where they're at right now. Okay.
You awesome hope with this sign that says no Trump Gestapo in DC. In the back, you see no ice.
Better King Von clip of how people talk about you. Stop. I don't care. All right.
No National Guard, free DC. We heard chants of free DC. This reads, Trump's lying about DC to distract you, release the Epstein files. The bottom one says, DC says freedom, not fascism. I mean, DC is supposed to have been a beacon of hope and democracy, but now there's a dark rain cloud above it, and it is a distraction from a few things. Number one, the Epstein files, but I think that in and of itself is a small piece of a larger failure of the Trump admin to satisfy anybody.
Jesus.
No wars have been ended. No deals have been cut. Donald Trump is exposing himself as likely maybe a pedophile, and day by day his approval rating continues to drop. So yeah, he mobilizes the National Guard. In response, you see protests like this one immediately pop up. Watch this clip.
Free DC! Free DC! Free DC! Free DC!
We saw a bunch of powerful speakers. Then, the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, gave a speech very quickly. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mocker channel. Make sure you're following along. And if you live in or around Omaha, Nebraska, I'm doing an in-person event
Whoa! Omaha mention.
in Omaha, Nebraska on August 23rd. Be there or be square, or you can watch it live. Just make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mocker feed below for more pro-democracy events. Here's a clip of Mayor Muriel Bowser being asked, hey, the president threatened to use not just the National Guard, but the military. And Bowser says something very powerful, that you can't weaponize the military against U.S. citizens.
Can I ask, the president threatened to use not just the National Guard, but the military, to bring the United States military, federal troops into the District of Columbia if needed. Can you respond to that threat? I mean, we're in uncharted waters already. Yeah, a lot of people are seeing this as the first step in an assault on home rule, which the president has threatened. He's been making these threats since last year, and now he's carrying through with them. There's no reason to believe he won't go further. What do you say to the president about his threats to bring the military, not just the National Guard, but the military?
We don't, and I think I speak for all Americans, we don't believe it's legal to use the American military against American citizens on American soil. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's a fairly widely held fact. And so, but we've seen them move, I think, the active military into California. So it's a question. We've seen active military on the borders of DC some years ago.
And really quickly, life can be stressful. It moves very fast, which is why you sometimes need a way to chill out, slow down, or just recharge for the night.
What is it going to be? What are we chilling out, slowing down, and recharging with?
That's exactly how I use Via gummies. Via is trusted by over 500,000 customers to deliver high-quality, hemp-derived ingredients straight to your doorstep. I mean, they've been a game changer to help me focus or relaxed after a long week. You can choose everything from zero THC, which is very casual, or
Whoa, weed gummies.
high potency options that really help you dial in on the experience that you want. So if you're 21 plus, now is the perfect time to click the top link in the description, use code BLUEHEART for a 15% off coupon code, and you get free shipping on orders over 100. One more time, go to via.co/BlueHeart, or just click the top link in the description and use code BLUEHEART for 15% off at checkout. Thank you all, and thank you to Via. I mean, even if you want to go back to Trump's first term, the signs were so clear. People around Donald Trump, I mean, generals that had served for decades, rose the alarms when Donald Trump floated the idea of mobilizing forces and shooting American citizens during the BLM protest back in 2020. Trump has, since he entered politics, had this fascistic urge in him to not to shake up the system to help the American people. That would be different. If he came in and shook up the system and, rigged it for the American people, that would be different. But he's rigging it for himself and his buddies. He's becoming more rich, more powerful, while the American people continue to struggle. As Joe Walsh points out, only a tyrant would use the American military against American citizens on American soil. Only a fascist would do that. Only a traitor would do that. And if Trump does that, he's declaring war on the American people, and they'll have no choice but to fight back. You know what's insane to me, what's mind-boggling, is 5 years ago, or I guess 4 years ago, on January 6th, when people were storming the Capitol and attacking the country, Trump refused to mobilize the National Guard. In fact, he sat back, did nothing, closed his eyes, and let it happen while egging it on Twitter. People were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," trying to destroy the country in DC, beating up cops, killing cops. And Trump pardons all of them and then mobilizes the National Guard for no reason. How can anybody deny that this is purely fascistic? That he's mobilizing the National Guard for no crime, but then pardoning the actual criminal?
I don't even know what the fuck. Did we ever figure out what the method is here to the madness? Why is he doing this? I don't even know what even from like an evil perspective, I don't know what he's trying to do. Distraction? It's just like, okay.
Criminals. In this right here, we see some more protesters. This says Trump's lying about DC to destroy. That is exactly the energy that we need right now. And let me just point one more thing out. This article from the Washington Post reads, "The decision to take over the Metropolitan Police Department and deploy 800 National Guard troops comes as the president has been slamming America's cities as places where crime is out of control, despite 2 years of declines that have brought homicide levels in many major cities to their lowest levels in decades." Trump is gaslighting the American people, saying,
what is let's even assume it works, that they deploy the National Guard or they do whatever, and then they bring crime down. Are they just going to deploy the National Guard forever? Is he just going to stay there forever? Or does he think that when they go away that all the crime is going to be gone? Like it's like a one-time thing? I don't know.
prices are low when they're high, saying that crime is high when it's not as high as necessary to deploy the National Guard. It's all a pretext for more fascistic power grabs, and it's terrifying. We need to make sure we're pushing back and pointing this out. Here's another protest clip.
Protect home rule! 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 Protect home rule!
I like how there are massive signs in the background. I can't read the full things, but it looks like it says, "Free DC, release the Epstein files." Very true. Why take over a, not actual state, but why take over DC?
I really like that, it's just normal that Trump just deploys the military all over the United States. I hate to do this. But put the show on the other foot. If Obama or Biden was just deploying the military offensively across the U.S., what would happen? You know what, actually? What a stupid fucking question for me to ask. We don't have to think what would happen. We already know what would happen. Fucking half the states were ready to fucking revolt when Biden was trying to use was it even the military to do border enforcement in Texas? How many Republican governors are like, we're going to join Abbott and send our police to go and help him to fight against the Biden immigration squad or whatever? They were going to lose their fucking minds on that shit. They were losing their minds on that. And then meanwhile, Trump is like, oh, California, I'm going to nationalize your National Guard and let's go. And it's like, oh, the governor didn't ask for that. That's kind of fucking weird. All right. Oh, DC. Okay. ICE funding in the hundreds, like 187 billion over what, 10 years? Like, why? Okay.
With military force to distract from the Epstein files unless you were very, very guilty. I'll leave you with that question. If you appreciate the work we do on this channel, I have two asks of you.
What are they?
Make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mocker feed below. And if you live in or around Omaha, Nebraska, RSVP. If you don't live near there,
Whoa!
Then don't RSVP. But if you do, or if you can make the drive, I'd love to see you there. Love to meet you, and peace out.
Shut up. Oh, look at him. How much money do you think this shit costs? Like, thank God, all the crack dealers that are using drones to deliver planes can now be intercepted, or deliver drugs are being intercepted by our... bro, kill me. I don't even know. Jesus Christ.
In our city.
They're what?
You see these fascists right here in our
Fascists?
Fuck you! Fuck you, fascists!
DC residents say Trump is too involved in pulling on National Guard deployment. I mean, DC is a very Democratic area, right? That's not surprising at all, no?
I hate this whole idea. I think there's some idea out there that Trump's somehow a conquering hero, but he's in fact is welcomed in Washington, D.C.
That's not the case. He throws a sandwich at them. Okay.
In our city.
I'm gonna watch him 1 second.
They're what?
You see these fascists right here in our
Fascists?
Fuck you! Fuck you, fascists! Shame! 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 Shame!
Y'all laughing, but that's the truth though. We really talking real shit.
Shame!
Y'all need to do some background studying about the Federal Bar Association.
Came in.
What vehicle?
The ones they pulled up in. These fascists.
Oh, the fascists? Inside the federal bite investigators?
Where did they? What vehicles did they show up in?
They showed up in unmarked.
Where are they? Where?
Right, is the white truck right there? The white car in front of there.
That white Jeep over there.
All the white cars.
All those white cars.
Yeah.
They fought a man. Yo! In front of man. Hey, Daddy, come on, man. Let's go get him, bro. Let's get that nigga.
No. You don't got me super bad. No.
Bro. It's not working. Fuck them, man. Stop the drama. Little blip. It's not fucking worth it. Come on, Brian.
Fight fucking crown, man.
Make a fucking way. You busy?
Motherfucker!
Oh! It's fucking done! It's fucking done!
Could they really not?
He cooked them!
They couldn't catch him? Oh my God. It was an uneaten sandwich.
We're starting to see what the president's takeover of policing in Washington, D.C. looks like. National Guard troops arrived today. The Pentagon says about 800 have been activated in support of law enforcement agencies. Today, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt told reporters they've made 23 arrests on charges ranging from fare evasion to homicide, and their role will be reevaluated, she said, in 30 days. She was asked about plans for other cities, which the president named yesterday, and she did not walk it back.
Look, the president is speaking about what he'd like to see take place in other cities around the country. Right now, this administration is focused on making D.C. safe and beautiful again. When the time comes, we'll talk about that.
Among those other cities the president mentioned in passing yesterday, which we should note are all governed by Democratic mayors, is Baltimore. Joining us now is Maryland's Democratic Governor Wes Moore. Governor, it's good to see you. You've said that the president's decision to deploy the National Guard, you called it deeply dangerous. What's your message to citizens who say to, regardless of...
So wait, did we The law says that the National Guard or the state National Guards can only be controlled by the president with the consent or request of the governor. And that never happened in California. Did we just move on from that? Did we just not give a fuck about that? Or is that another thing that's working its way through the courts? Or that case is in court now.
Crime data or
it's on day 3 of bench trial. Okay.
Deploy the National Guard. You called it deeply dangerous. What's your message to citizens who say regardless of crime data or trends, this makes them feel safer?
Well, I'm embarrassed. I'm angered. And frankly, I'm heartbroken for the members of the National Guard who are asked to take on this mission. As someone who has served this country overseas and who has led soldiers in combat, and as someone who is not just the 63rd governor of Maryland, but also the commander-in-chief of the Maryland National Guard, I take very seriously about how, when, and why I deploy members of our National Guard in cases of emergency and in true crises. And I will.
Trump's strategy is to just do so much shit that the courts can't even keep up. I mean, I guess, but it's not even coherent. It's just so stupid. I hate this.
Not authorize the usage of Maryland National Guard forces for missions that I do not deem to be either mission critical or mission aligned. And what we're seeing right now,
you don't deploy the National Guard for just crime enforcement, right? It's just
this distracting away from the fact that Donald Trump's policies have caused unemployment to go up, have caused people to lose their health care, has caused children to be able to lose their food benefits, and he's now using this as a tool. He's using military personnel.
How does the law even function in these situations? If he deploys the National Guard and they listen, how can anyone stop Trump? The issue is, remember, what I said before is that checks and balances only works as a system when everybody is playing by the rules. If people are going to not play by the rules, I mean, if the judiciary doesn't play by the rules, it's kind of awkward. If people in Congress don't play by the rules, it's kind of weird. If the executive doesn't play by the rules, you are supremely fucked, right? That's your big issue. And right now, the executive is not playing by the rules, and they're the ones that take all the action.
Citizen soldiers as a cudgel and as a tool to be able to advance his political purposes, because if he really wants to address the issue of violent crime, he just needs to look at what we've done in the state of Maryland over the past 2.5 years, where when I first became the governor in 2022, Baltimore was averaging almost a murder a day. Now, the homicide rate in Baltimore is nearly a 50-year low, and we have watched how the state of Maryland has essentially helped to lead the country in drops in violent crime.
Hey, wait, why is the suicide hotline here? The fuck?
In drops in non-fatal shootings, in drops in carjackings. So if he truly wants to understand how to lower crime, he should.
Aren't checks and balances for people who don't play by the rules? No! I'm repeating that for the 50 millionth time. Checks and balances are not for rule breakers. Checks and balances exist for people who are playing by the rules to have a fun and enriching experience in government, all playing the game with each other. Checks and balances in the U.S. federal government are like a rule set for a board game so that everybody has a fun and fair time. They are not there for rule breakers. If you break the rules and you're the executive branch, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Pay attention to what we're doing in the state of Maryland, and I did it without ever having to once operationalize our National Guard to do municipal policing.
I mean, you said Maryland has reduced its violent crime rate. According to the FBI crime database, Baltimore is still among the top 3 big cities for violent crime, isn't it, along with Memphis and Detroit?
Well, I've been very clear that the number one priority.
Why is it not as bad for Congress or the judiciary? Don't Congress pass laws? I feel like they have more collective power than the president. If a judge looks at you and says, you're guilty because I say so, and I think you should get executed right now, fuck you. Well, I mean, the judge can look at you and say it, and you go, okay, well, that's kind of unhinged. And then what, right? The cops might look at you and the judge and say, oh, yeah, the judge seems kind of crazy. The state legislature might look at the judge and be like, I don't think we authorize that. That's kind of crazy. Right? Let's say that the state legislature, let's say you get like some crazy guy in the state legislature is like, oh, we should kill all black people, right? Well, the other legislators are looking like, oh, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of weird. You know, the judge would look at the dude, like they wouldn't even be able to pass anything. But then let's say that the governor or the mayor who controls the cops tells the cop, hey, go arrest this guy and fuck him up. Well, now you're fucked, right? The problem is that the executive is the body of the government that enforces law. And when the enforcement mechanism is wielded improperly, everybody else relies on the enforcement mechanism at the end of the day to enforce the will of the legislature, right, of the Congress, by interpretation of the judiciary. So when the enforcement mechanism is fucked up, everything is fucked. And there are no stopping powers on the other two. There's no checks and balances on your enforcement mechanism. It's not possible to do it.
You said Maryland has reduced its violent crime rate. According to the FBI crime database, Baltimore is still among the top 3 big cities for violent crime, isn't it, along with Memphis and Detroit?
Well, I've been very clear that the number one priority for our administration is making sure that people can feel safe in their neighborhoods and safe in their communities. And if one person does not feel safe in their neighborhood and their community, that is one too many. But it's the reason that we've done things like making historic investments in local law enforcement, making historic investments in predictive analytics and technologies, and making sure that if someone commits a violent crime, particularly with a handgun, I want them in handcuffs in 24 hours. And making sure we're making commitments and partnership with the mayor, with our county executives, with our local community members, and making sure we're stopping the retaliatory nature of violence. And so while we are very encouraged by the numbers that we have seen, we've seen how the homicide rate in the state of Maryland is down upwards of 20% since I have been the governor, that the homicide rate in Baltimore City is now reaching 50-year lows. I know we still have work to do, but I also know how to use the right tools for the right mission. And usage of the National Guard is not the right tools to be able to address what we're seeing and the encouraging progress that we are seeing in the city of Baltimore.
The governor of New York sent the National Guard into New York City to the subways, and she says that was successful. The crime actually...
There are other executives in the United States. The president is the chief executive of the federal police force and the military. The states could fight back theoretically. Governors are the executives of the state police, and mayors are executives of the city police. But now you're in like civil war where different militaries are fighting with the police forces, and it's not good.
Went down in the subways. There are other groups that say, well, they were already heading on the way down when they were sent in. Would you ever foresee a role for the National Guard in even just making people, feel safer on the streets or in the subways?
I've mobilized the National Guard since I have been the governor. But I also know it's a weight that I take very personally, and it's a weight that I take very seriously. Because the people of Maryland know, my background is not as a politician. My background is as a soldier. And I take how we use our citizen soldiers very seriously. And it's important for people to remember that every time you mobilize the National Guard, there's two things that become important. One, there's a cost to it, and it's not an unlimited cost. And so you have to understand that when we're utilizing the National Guard for things like municipal policing, that means that's National Guard and resources that are not being used towards things like natural disasters. That's not being towards things like utilization of the National Guard for foreign conflicts. And also the second thing to remember is this. The members of our National Guard, these are citizen soldiers. These are people with other jobs. These are people who have just chosen to take on this additional responsibility and raise their hands to serve the people of their states because the state knows how and when to use them wisely. And so the people of Maryland know that while I will be unafraid to utilize or mobilize members of the National Guard when there's a case of emergency, I will also not use it as just some type of political ploy or some political tool. And they also know that this decision is being made by people who, frankly, have never worn the uniform themselves, that the only uniform they have worn are Brooks Brothers suits. And so there's a lack of seriousness that is going to the decision-making process about what you are doing and how you're impacting the lives of these men and women and their families.
I was looking at crime stats in Washington, D.C., and with carjackings, it seems like actually a lot of young people are involved in it, and often they're armed. I heard you speak recently about, in Maryland, the attention you are paying to the plight of young men in this country and in your state. Can you just speak to that a little bit? It's a little tangential to this issue, but I was struck by some of your focus on the plight of young men these days.
So I'm starting my own Blue Pill podcast, he says. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we've been very clear from the first days of our administration that in Maryland we are going to put a focus on what is happening with our young men and boys, and I say it not just because of the data that we are seeing how the suicide rate for young men is 4 times what it is for young girls, that we're watching overdose rates, that we're watching job placement and college completion is the same as it was for young men in 1964. But I also know from a very personal experience that I'm a governor who had handcuffs on my wrist by the time I was 11 years old. That I'm a governor who watched my immigrant single mother have to raise us because my father died in front of me when I was 3. That I was a person who joined the military when I was 17 years old after getting sent away to military school when I was just becoming a teenager. So I understand, and we are going to put a real focus on addressing what is happening with our young men and boys and unearthing their talents. It's the reason we made Maryland the first state in the country that now has a service year option for all of our high school graduates. It's the reason that we have a program called Thrive, an award-winning program that's targeting the young people in our state who are have the highest chance of either being the victim or the perpetrator of gun violence. And I know that over 95% of them are young boys. And so in our state, we are focusing on helping our young men and boys. It is a necessary thing to do. And if you do that, it's not to the exclusion of what's happening to our young girls, but it's making sure that if you want
Is there like a media face? Do I need to work on this? Like that you have to have when you're listening to people that makes it look like you're very... Oh, and the slightly open lip, sorry. Well, I feel like everybody has like the interview face. Like, do we really?
Have strong families and strong communities, you have to be able to uplift the young men and boys who live in them as well.
Governor Westmore, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank
The
you.
next Pierre Shulman, I'm going to do that, okay? Destiny, is there a real reason the executive has to be its own branch rather than integrating elements of enforcement into the other 2 branches? It seems the issue here is the concentration of lethal force in one branch. Well, the idea is that the idea behind the U.S. system of governance is you want to have an agonizingly slow, methodical approach to creating and implementing law. Okay, that's what Congress is for. That's why the process is so mucky. You've got your representatives, you've got your upper house, a Senate, both of them have equal power. President has veto power. There's just a lot of work to get something passed in law. But once the thing is law, you want a single, non-deliberative body that is enforcing the law. The law should be enforced without question in the manner that the executive deems fit based on the law passed from Congress, right? Having conflicting executives, the conflict should happen in the deliberative process when you're crafting the law. But once the law is implemented, passed by the Congress, you want it to be enforced swiftly and vigorously at that point. So that's why I think when the Founding Fathers were considering other forms of governance and they were looking to the past to see what had worked and what hadn't worked, I want to say it was even in Greece where there might have been multiple executives, like the executives who were usually executives in different areas. They weren't the executive at the same time, or they weren't executives, governing the same place. It's important to have that singular person who enforces the law. As National Guard troops arrive, uncertainty over command of DC police, the White House and DC leadership have each tried to assert that they are in control of the force, even as they emphasize cooperation and shared priorities. The weird thing, too, and it seemed like this was recognized yesterday when we were listening to the news talk about this, is they were saying that, was it for J.D. Vance? Or no, it might have been for Hegseth. He was saying, like, well, yeah, they're not going to arrest anybody, but they're there in case they get shot at. Because they're not allowed to arrest people? And issued officers a far-reaching mandate to do whatever the hell they want to curb crime. Yet it remained unclear what new directives, if any, DC police would receive from their new federal managers. That's for the National Guard, not for the state Capitol Police or the DC Police, to be clear. Florida's new policy for senior drivers. Uh-oh. Get fucked. Ultimately, the chain of command is as such: the President of the United States, the Attorney General of the United States, our DEA Administrator, Terry Cole, who she said is in charge of the department and is working with the chief to ensure that law enforcement officers are allowed to do their jobs in the city. DEA Administrator? I don't think that's in chain of command for police or National Guard stuff related to DC. Maybe they're just saying in general who's going to work with them, I guess. I don't know. Defense Department officials said a small number of National Guard members have been mobilized, with more expected in coming days. About 800 are expected to be part of the mission. I also love how this is a direct contradiction on the January 6th shit. Remember, Bowser didn't want any National Guard troops. We can't send them. The state capitol said that they didn't want any. We can't do it. That's what they said, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, oh, actually, we are going to do it. We don't give a fuck what they say. We're doing it. Eat shit. I was like, oh, okay. Stop. Don't link baseball. It's the most boring sport. God, I hate the stupid notes and the fucking... what the fuck even does this say? Safe, baguette, hawk tua, command, control, supervising, safe, beautiful. Is that what this is supposed to say? Task force? Okay. We might read that Hassan piece later. I don't know how much I care, but I've seen this. People keep posting this. Hassan's also trying to mentor new establishment Dem influencers like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson. I told Dean personally, 1, stop with this liberalism shit. Cut it out. Become more leftist. And 2, try to do things that are not just debate focused, he says. They're not listening to me, so who knows? It's so fucking cringe. Like, he's literally just admitting to stealing our fucking liberals. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. Can you look into the Riley CS stuff? Already did. They're not cheating. People just literally hate trans people. The thing is, if you wanted to hate Riley for who they were and accuse them of being a cheater, I would be all for that. But hate them for being a VTuber, okay? That's the cringe shit. And if you wanted to say they're cheating, you're like, how do you know they're cheating? It's a fucking subhuman fucking VTuber fuck. I'm like, okay, fair. Then I'd be on board with it. My jobs are many right now, and part of it is just practically managing us through this crisis. This is okay. Wait, the fuck? How old is this?
Have you heard about all these teachers having sex with their students? Is this not crazy? What is going on?
Well, I don't think the male students have been hurt by it.
I can tell this is from like 2016 or whatever earlier because he doesn't sound slow and old and senile as fuck. What year is this from?
In fact, they're going around bragging about it, as I understand it. So, you know, I don't see a lot of damage done.
Fair enough.
But it's a very unusual situation. I would say her husband cannot be happy.
Oh, you are bad. If she still has a husband.
Bad. He's talking about Maxwell raping boys here, by the way. Wait, really? That was 2012? I don't know what that's about.
Who's your favorite student?
I love all my students equally. I have no favorite.
Is that a lie?
No.
Who's your favorite student?
I love all my students equally. I have no favorite.
Is that a lie?
No.
I mean, that's just one student. Maybe there were multiple students.
As we mentioned,
John, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro.
Why are we doing the fucking the Twitter charts? Bro, our government is cooked. I need more Instagram meme songs. I just have this one. But it doesn't fit. It's not the right one.
Is talking right now in Washington, D.C., pointing out those who have been affected and killed by violent crimes in Washington, D.C. She's right now talking about teen crime. Listen.
Not solved. But what this makes clear to me is that there is a whole community that is suffering because of the violent crime in this district. And anyone who wants to tell me...
Which one? It's the one with like, bomb, 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 bomb. And the guy's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That one. You're looking for this one? Oh yeah, this one. This is it. That's the cooked one. Wait, is that a girl singing this? Tamar Braxton. I always assumed it was a guy. Or is that Future singing that? Oh, my bad. Fuck. Whatever.
Me. The crime is down, and that we don't need an emergency focus on crimes of violence. All they need to do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the family members.
People should ask conservatives. This is what I want to hear at these congressional fucking hearings or whatever, or when you guys are doing your, media interviews or whatever. You should ask them, just curious conservatives, is there anything in this country right now that's not like a fucking national emergency? Because so far, fentanyl coming in from the borders is a national emergency. Even from Canada, our trade deficits are national emergencies. Venezuela somehow is a national emergency. I guess crime is a national emergency. Is there anything that's not a national emergency right now?
Of these individuals, all shot and killed long before their time. Now, over here are the individuals who were shot and killed under the age of 20, all teenagers in 2025. And the number here is 16. Again, all members of the minority community here. I don't know how many of these cases have been solved, but what I can tell you is, again, it's guns on the streets. It's individuals who are not concerned about accountability.
Wait, what?
To do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the family members.
People should ask. Wait, what did I just click?
Family members. And talk to the loved ones and the members of these individuals all shot and killed long before their time. Now, over here are the individuals violent crime in this district. And anyone who wants to tell me the crime is down and that we don't need an emergency focus on crime family do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the
Wait, did this come from this video or did I open something else? Hold on.
crimes of violence. All they need to do is take a look at this and talk to the loved ones and the family members of these individuals all shot and killed.
No, you open a song? What song? Wait, what the fuck did I... He did this. Oh. This looks retarded. Oh. Wow, amazing.
Long before their time. Now, over here are the individuals who were shot and killed under the age of 20, all teenagers in 2025. And the number here is 16. Again, all members of the minority community here. I don't know how many of these cases have been solved, but what I can tell you is, again, it's guns on the streets. It's individuals who are not concerned about accountability, who don't have any reason to fear law enforcement. I am here today to tell you that on behalf of all of these victims, all of these families, that they're going to be accountable, that we are going to make a difference, and that we are going to make sure that law enforcement is focused.
Hold on, I'm just seeing what is my mom sending me on Instagram.
Newsom is shutting down small local family farms in California. Please watch this next video and share it with everyone you know. We need to help and save our American ranchers.
Oh, we just found out we're not going to be able to get any irrigation water, which shuts us down as ranchers.
We're just kind of looking at just having to go out of business, you know, because
is shutting down small local family farms in California. Please watch this next video and share it with everyone you know. We need to help and save our American ranchers.
Oh, we just found out we're not going to be able to get any irrigation water, which shuts us down as ranchers.
we're just kind of looking at just having to go out of business, you know, because that's what we do here is raise cattle. And if we don't have any water, that's going to be taken away from us.
Our well will go dry.
What do you do here?
What do you do with dry land that you can't grow anything on? We're all going to have to go out of business.
My mom says that this is because Newsom wants to take their land. Okay.
Focus on these innocent, now silent victims of crime in the district.
How does DC, if you're talking about the number of teenage gun deaths here, how does that compare for 100,000?
Anywhere else?
Where do we rank?
All I know is we rank in deaths. 2 years ago, we were one of the fourth highest. We were the fourth highest in the United States. I don't need any more statistics.
Oh my God.
All I need are people to recognize that these were vibrant human beings cut down because of illegal guns. I guarantee you that every one of these shootings was with an illegal gun. All right? And I guarantee you that every one of these individuals was shot and killed by someone who felt that they were never going to be caught. And I want to send
I think most people that murder people feel like they're not going to be caught murdering somebody. That's kind of the point of doing crime, right? You don't think you're going to get caught doing it, generally speaking, right?
message that we are going to catch you, that we are going to change the laws, that if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, we're going to bring you into the justice system. No more of this DC, council, if they're under 16 or if they're under 19 or if they're under 25, we'll give them probation. No more. I'm done with that.
It's guns on the
that you face and you're talking right now, but what do you conceivably do as the DC U.S. Attorney to address those laws, address the DC crime line, which is not accredited, and also at the same time address some of the prosecutorial issues you talked about?
Okay. Those are great questions. Number one, the DC Crime Lab is now accredited and validated very recently. So Dr. Diaz has communicated that to us, and we are working with the DC Crime Lab. Our concern is making sure that we have enough people who are able to analyze the DNA and all of the testing that we need to have done. That's number one. Number two, as it relates to prosecution, I have been very clear that Title 16 is not enough. Under Title 16, if you are 16 or 17 years of age, we can get you for rape 1, murder, robbery 1, burglary 1. But if you shoot someone and don't kill them, I don't have jurisdiction. It goes to the Attorney General, the State Attorney General, Brian Schwab, and the focus is family court rehabilitation. 17 years of age, we can get you to prosecution. I have been very clear that Title 16 is not enough. Under Title 16, if you are 16 or 17 years of age, we can get you for rape 1, murder, robbery 1, burglary 1. But if you shoot someone and don't kill them.
What is rape 1, burglary 1? Is there like a first degree or second degree rape? What is that? Or is she just using that number like?
I don't have jurisdiction. It goes to the attorney.
Also, what jurisdiction is she talking about?
Attorney General, the State Attorney General, Brian Schwab, and
Brian Schwab. Attorney General is the Attorney General of the District of Columbia. Isn't that who you would want to have these things dealt with by?
And the focus is family court rehabilitation. Now, I was a family court judge in New York for a short period of time. The mission there is not punishment, it's rehabilitation. As evidenced by, do we have those posters?
Don't we want to rehabilitate people? Isn't that the goal?
We had a poster with a,
Jesus.
What you get is yoga, and you get ice cream socials in family court.
Okay.
Well, I'm done with yoga and ice cream socials. We've got to change the law to bring them into the justice system. We've got to get rid of the 3 statutes or 3 laws passed by the D.C. Council. Number 1 is the Youth Rehabilitation Act, where you basically say, with the Youth Rehabilitation Act, that what we're going to do is we're going to say, if you're sentenced and you're under the age of 25, that the judge can give you probation irrespective of what the crime is. That's nonsense. And that's why a judge, and you're tired of hearing about me say this, that's why a judge gave a 19-year-old 2-3 weeks ago, and I wrote an op-ed piece, gave a 19-year-old probation, and I understand it's 2 years probation to go to college with no mandate, for getting on a public bus with an illegal gun, shooting an individual in the chest, which to me is intent to kill, and he walked away, after we convicted him, he walked away with no jail time. If that's what you want in this district, then I'm the wrong person to be. He can give you probation, sentenced, and you're under the age of 25, that the judge can give you probation irrespective of what the crime is. That's nonsense. And that's why a judge, and you're tired of hearing about me say this, that's why a judge gave a 19-year-old 2-3 weeks ago, and I wrote an op-ed piece, gave a 19-year-old probation, and I understand it's 2 years probation to go to college with no...
Op-ed. What is she talking about? 19-year-old, chest, gun. Washington, D.C., USA. A 19-year-old former college football player who shot a man in the chest on a crowded metro bus in March walked free from court this month after a judge suspended his entire prison sentence under Washington, D.C.'s Youth Rehabilitation Act. Jeffrey Peaks pleaded guilty to felony counts of aggravated assault while armed and possession of a firearm during a crime of violence after video showed him pulling out an unregistered handgun and shooting the victim on the bus. The victim survived after being treated by EMS at the scene, but D.C. Superior Court Judge Rainey Branch stunned prosecutors by suspending Peaks' entire 4-year prison sentence and 3 years of supervised release. Instead sentencing him only to probation under the Youth Rehabilitation Act. Okay. 4-year. Okay. When she said this initially, I thought this guy shot and killed somebody, or that this guy had a huge prison sentence. But he had a 4-year prison sentence and 3 years of supervised release. Okay. And sentencing him only to probation under the Youth Rehabilitation Act. The YRA gives judge broad discretion when sentencing defendants who were under 24 when their crimes were committed, allowing for alternatives to incarceration, except in the most serious cases like murder. Defendants sentenced under this act can also have their crimes shielded from public view and potential employers if they meet court conditions. The lenient sentence enraged interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Ferris-Pirro, the one we were just watching, who issued a scathing statement about the case. Hold on, I wonder what this looks like. I'm curious.
Free tools for campaigns. Create free campaign content. Use our low-cost software to text your voters.
An investigation.
The moment brought terror to a crowded D.C. Metro bus in March. Passenger dives for
Jesus.
cover. Family rushes their toddler to safety. Video obtained by WUSA 9 shows 19-year-old Javari Peaks, a one-time college football player, pulling out an unregistered handgun and shooting a man in the chest. EMS treated the victim at the scene, and he survived. Peaks pled guilty and was sentenced earlier this month to felony counts of aggravated assault while armed and possession of a firearm during a
aggravated assault while armed. You don't even get like attempt murder for that, or what? What were the underlying facts, or what changed this? I'm so confused. He just turned around and shot a dude for no fucking reason. Wait, what the fuck?
Violence. But the judge stunned prosecutors, setting the shooter free at sentencing. In fact, 19-year-old Javari Peaks walked away with only probation under a law that's unique to DC. It's called the Youth Rehabilitation Act. The Youth Rehabilitation Act gives judges huge discretion when sentencing anyone who was under age 24 when their crime was committed, including no jail time, except in the most...
I mean, like, this is kind of unhinged, kind of, but this guy was only going to be sentenced to 4 years in prison. I feel like even that's crazy. If he just turns around and shoots a dude for no reason.
Serious cases like murder. The Metro bus shooter's sentence enraged interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro.
We are not going to tolerate that anymore.
In a statement, she told WUSA 9, D.C. will not be safe until judges hold violent offenders accountable by putting them in jail. Why is she wrong?
Well, jail doesn't make people less violent. We know that it makes people more violent.
But Vita...
Okay, let him go be violent in jail. What the fuck?
Johnson, a former D.C. public defender and Georgetown law professor, says YRA is a critical tool in rehabilitating young offenders in need of a second chance.
And I think that's what's great about the Youth Act. It allows the judge to use that context and to make a decision. The Youth Act doesn't require a judge to give someone probation.
In her ruling, Judge Rainey Branch cited Peaks' age, no prior criminal record, and strong family support as reasons for suspending the shooter's prison sentence.
Like, there's a collection of facts that would make me sympathetic to that. Like, if he carried a gun because he thought he needed to for protection, even if it's unlicensed, and then he gets into a scuffle with somebody and it's kind of the other guy's fault, and in the course of this, like, he pulls out his gun and shoots a dude who probably shouldn't have shot, and he gets like in trouble for it. It's like, you know, maybe we are a little lenient here. I don't understand this, though. It seems like the guy just like fucking 180 no scopes a dude on the bus for no reason and then runs. Well, I don't understand what are the... does the judge release, is there like a statement anywhere where we can read the judge's like statements on this? There must be.
Investigators say video of the shooting also showed the victim, the man without a backpack, harassing the shooter, who was wearing a medical mask, in the minutes leading up to the shooting.
Okay, maybe there was more here on this? Oh shit, hold on.
Record and strong family support as reasons for suspending the shooter's prison sentence. Investigators say video of the shooting also showed the victim, the man without a backpack, harassing the shooter.
Okay, so shooter guy, this is the guy who got shot.
Was wearing a medical mask in the minutes leading up to the shooting, as Peaks seemingly tried to avoid the confrontation. But Pirro denounced the judge's decision, writing, despite...
Is there more? Defense attorney Albert Amisa told D.C. Superior Court Judge Rainey Brandt on April 28th that his client, Javari Peaks, intends to accept a plea agreement offered by the prosecution. As soon as the prosecutor provides the necessary paperwork, Peaks, 19, is charged with assault with intent to kill. Assault with intent to kill? The fuck is that an attempted murder? Maybe that's just in DC how it's written, I guess. While armed, aggravated assault while armed, and 2 counts of possession of a firearm. Why? Because he held it in each arm? What is that? Why 2 counts? No. During a crime of violence. The charges stem from his alleged involvement in a non-fatal shooting at the intersection of 22nd Street and Minnesota Avenue I see on March 8th, one individual sustained injuries from the incident. According to arrest documents, a Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority bus driver testified as seeing the defendant shoot the victim in the chest, then exit the bus and run away down the street. Court documents state that WMATA surveillance footage from inside the bus before the shooting shows the victim talking to an individual identified as Peak, who blocks him from leaving his seat, holds onto his backpack, follows him between the back and front of the bus, and pushes him. The prosecutor told the court that the plea agreement will require Peaks to plead guilty to aggravated assault, while armed, in possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. In return, the prosecution will dismiss all other charges related to the case and will waive an enhancement for the charges, or to the charges for committing a crime of violence against a WMATA passenger. According to the prosecutor, that enhancement would have increased the length of Peaks' prison sentence by 1.5 months.
Our request.
Is there like full footage of this somewhere? Does anybody have anything else?
For significant jail time, a D.C. Superior Court judge refused to incarcerate Peaks. To make D.C. safe again, there must be serious consequences for these heinous crimes. Her office is now demanding D.C. Council change the Youth Rehabilitation Act so that any crime of violence committed with a gun is not eligible for a Youth Rehabilitation Act sentence. Johnson rejects that.
Everyone who shoots a gun shouldn't get the Youth Act, but certain people, under certain circumstances, who are, acting the way this young man did, should at least be given that that opportunity.
We discovered right now D.C. has no way to track YRA cases or whether defendants reoffend after being set free. The D.C. Sentencing Commission is working to change that, but there is no timeline. Eric Flack, WUSA 9.
As a condition of his probation under the Youth Rehabilitation Act, Javari Peaks has to stay in school and get a college degree. We contacted his attorney for comment. We'll let you know if we hear back.
Fuck. I'm so curious if there's full, is there full footage?
Free tools for campaigns.
I'm curious what it looked like prior, other than just that one thing. Some percentage. Like this article is written, I feel like that was a really important part of the story that was left out. Like even in the article, in her ruling, Judge Branch cited Peaks' age, like a prior criminal record, and strong family support as reasons for the suspended sentence. Okay, but also apparently the person was harassing him. I feel like that's kind of important to bring up, no? The judge also noted that Peaks' cousin had been robbed on public transportation 5 months earlier, causing anxiety and paranoia while using transit. Investigators say bus surveillance video showed the victim harassing Peaks in the minutes before the shooting, as the defendant appeared to be trying to avoid confrontation. But legal experts are divided on the sentence. Nobody has a full video? Okay. I mean, it makes more, even if you disagree with it, it makes more sense. She's presenting this in a really unhinged manner. Well, the video also of just him shooting also looks unhinged if you just see the shooting. Oh, shooter who injured stranger on a metro bus in Washington, but guilty. Okay. The victim began talking to Peaks while they were seated across from each other. When the defendant stood up to walk, the victim momentarily blocked him from proceeding. After a few seconds, the victim walked toward the front of the bus where the defendant was standing. Peaks and the victim then continued to move around the bus for the next several minutes. At 9:45 p.m., the victim attempted to push the defendant off the bus, at which point the defendant briefly exited the bus before boarding again and walking past the victim toward the back of the bus. Within approximately a minute at 9:46 p.m., while the defendant was standing at the front of the bus near the bus operator and the victim was behind him in the middle of the bus, the defendant asked the bus operator if he could get off. As soon as the bus operator opened the doors, the defendant reached into his left jacket pocket, spun around and shot the victim, who was approximately 2 feet away, one time in the chest. The defendant then ran off the bus and away from the area. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. You shouldn't be shooting people, obviously, but okay, this guy was... I feel like the guy who got shot was on some fuck shit as well. I'm curious what the footage looks like, but... All right. Vindicated? No, I mean, like, he probably shouldn't have shot the guy. That's not good. But the video made it look like, and the way that she described it was literally just... Like, if the guy was white, this is like every conservative's fantasy. Some black hoodlum is harassing you on a bus, and you bravely, you know, spin shoot him and hop off.
Hearing about me say this. That's why a judge gave a 19-year-old 2-3 weeks ago, and I wrote an op-ed piece, gave a 19-year-old probation, and I understand it's 2 years probation to go to college with no mandate, for getting on a public bus with an illegal gun, shooting an individual in the chest, which to me is intent to kill, and he walked away, after we convicted him, he walked away with no jail time. If that's what you want in this district, then I'm the wrong person to be United States Attorney. Number one. The Incarceration Reduction Act. The Incarceration Reduction Act that the D.C. left-leaning council passed says if you're 25 years old and you were sentenced to 15 years as a young kid for probably murder, even a serial murderer, we can let you out if you're 25. We can let you out because, not because you're rehabilitated, not because the offense wasn't that bad, but because we can. And that's got to go, all right? And the third thing is record sealing. I go through all of the effort to get a conviction, and they want to seal the convictions.
Did the guy die? No.
They want to say, we want to seal convictions after 5 years. If I'm a mother, and thank God my kids are older, if I'm a mother, I want to know if a nanny has an assault conviction. If I'm an employer, I want to know if this person has been convicted of larceny or petty larceny. Or if, say, I'm not in a public school, but I got a private, like, teaching a tennis group. I need to know if this guy's a predator, a pedophile. Everything about the D.C. Council's focus is defendant-oriented. I'm oriented to these people, and the people of the district are as well.
You just walked through the...
I mean, are we saying that every... Because it kind of sounds like... I don't know. I don't think about this a lot. So, like, if you have a criminal record, everybody has access to it at all points in time, and then your shit can be fucked forever, and you're just never going to get hired. But, I mean, maybe there's an argument that some people shouldn't have some jobs, depending on what kind of crimes they've committed. I don't know. But if you're a kid, too, I don't know. Do you not care about the illegal gun? Sure. You shouldn't have an illegal gun. Whatever the charges for that, you get charged for that. I think you did.
These people and the people of the district are as well.
You just walked through the...
This federal takeover that you talked about a little bit, well, you talked a lot about it, but any special...
I don't have any special powers. I wish I did.
Can you talk about where you stand on hiring prosecutors and judges?
I am, you know, I'm not going to bore you with the facts. Don't quote me on that. That was off the record. I can only hire during certain periods once there's been an ad or some kind of posting, and then I can hire. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the best I can. The president has given me the permission to hire. This is an office that has been neglected, and I'll say it publicly. It's been neglected. With people signing contracts, they didn't know what they were signing. All right, it just kind of ran on its own. Not anymore. This is an office where nobody seemed to care that we were down 90 lawyers, 60 investigators, and paralegals. I do. And so my effort is to get people who want to work in the nation's capital, who want to work in the largest United States Attorney's office in the country, and the best office. Because we're not just federal prosecutors, we're local prosecutors. We get down and dirty on street crime. And that is what really motivates.
As a D.C. resident of 15 years, I lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I lost track. I was carjacked. I have murders on my Ring camera and mass shootings.
What? Where the fuck does this guy live? Like outside the fucking Gotham's Most Wanted mansion? What the fuck?
I witnessed a woman on my block get held up at gunpoint for $20. And my house was set ablaze in an arson with my infant child inside.
Bro, what kind of shit are you getting up to that all this crime is happening to you? What the fuck?
And so to any reporter that says and lies that DC is a safe place to live and work, let me just say this. Thank you.
Thank you.
We completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it. We have to go back to how we got here, though. In 2020, the D.C. City Council passed an enormous amount of legislation that handcuffs police officers, exposes them to administrative, civil, and even criminal liability, even when they do their jobs properly. And now 5 years later, our authorized sworn strength is 4,000 sworn police officers. We currently have 3,180. So we have more than 800 vacancies for the position of police officer. And the way the department makes up for that gap is through 2 million hours of mandatory overtime every year. So the fact that we need help.
Wait, what's the meme? Meme with eyes turning to the side. Fuck, what am I thinking of? Did every single DC cop, when the guy's like, I can't believe they're forced to work all this overtime, and it's like, yeah, bruh. Yeah, that's horrible. Who fought for that? I'm just curious. Maybe that wasn't part of what they fought for. I don't know. Just my Omaha experience, emergency services fucking love overtime. Because I don't know if pension spiking is still a thing, but they do that shit like crazy. Hold on a second.
From federal law enforcement and maybe even the National Guard, it shouldn't come as a surprise, and we agree with that. I think one of the issues here, though, is that we all know that's going to be temporary. So in order to fix this problem and make sure that it doesn't ebb and flow and that the feds come in and we lower crime and then they leave. And
oh, this is the union chairman, so, I mean, I guess he would know what the police wanted, right?
We're left holding the bag. It's very important that people know that there is underlying legislation that needs to be corrected so that we can actually properly staff this police department in order to properly police the city.
Steps in, he takes action. Unfortunately, these Democrat-run cities are not sufficient at tackling the problem, so President Trump is going to step in where he needs to keep these cities from being overrun by a culture of lawlessness, or in the case of LA, from being burned to the...
Like, I'm so sorry, and it sounds like you're belittling people or you're just not letting people have autonomy, but when people complain about problems, you know, like illegal immigration. We heard about the migrant caravans for years, maybe for decades, that they were about to overrun the country. It's like, oh no, that's real. Trust me, they were really about to overthrow it. Now we're hearing about the crime waves that are destroying cities that are like, is every single thing in America really on the verge of collapse right until Donald Trump comes in and does some arbitrary random shit and then saves the day? Really? Is that really what we're believing right now? Come on.
The ground. This president is a man of action, not simply task forces.
You
and
lived in
studies
LA,
and
you
research.
know that those
Making it
protests
happen.
were in a three-block radius, and those National Guard troops sat around on their butts until they were released.
Here's the deal: 30 days to see if there's a change, and the president does have the right to do it, and we'll see if it works. It's a test period over the course of 30 days, and then we'll regroup and we'll talk about whether or not there were some good strides made here. We'll see.
He steps in, he takes action.
From someone who I won't say their name, but they're we'll just say that they're very liberal. And he says, this may sound controversial, but I'm not totally opposed to Trump's National Guard move in D.C. I know he's doing it for politics, but crime remains rampant. I've had too many friends carjacked, shot at. None of us will walk more than 3 blocks after 8 p.m. 13-year-olds are committing many of these crimes. Quite a change from a decade ago when things were much calmer. Well, that actually sounds like the D.C. that I lived in when I lived a block behind the Supreme Court. And, you know, every 3 days, one of my neighbors was getting held up at gunpoint. I mean, there has been a crime problem in D.C. And
I just need to spend more time in D.C. I need like a month there, I guess. I feel like all the areas in D.C. I've been at look like the most fucking like gentrified, white people friendly. But I'm sure there are rough areas in D.C. It is a high crime area. Well, maybe not compared to every other place, but like there's crime there for sure. But I'm so curious where these people are living. Maybe at night it's scary. Well, not at night. Maybe late night. Maybe it's scarier. I don't know. Is it not just a typical city? Yeah, I mean, it seems like there are, like, all cities have some kind of bad areas, but I mean, I lived in LA for 3 years. I didn't have, but I didn't hang out in the worst possibility. I don't know. Radiant, do you have the? Sounds on my subreddit.
B laws in some.
Things like
You're saying that
doctors.
the strict AB laws in some Republican-controlled states are leading to harm to women. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I'm kind of like, I want more information.
Why would you have voted for that though? That's exact. They want to ban it, so like, I really don't understand why you would vote for
I was voting for. I didn't know that was the outcome at the time. You know.
Okay. Well, vote Democrat moving forward, and you can solve that easy.
Right. Okay. I'll stay.
Problem solved. Moving on.
You just kick her. What is this fucking retarded shit? Wait, is that a quote from the article? An army of girls and gays, not to mention admiring looks maxers, would kill to be where I am now, next to Piker as he pants in a pair of neon shorts with black Calvin Klein boxers poking out and sunlight glinting off the sweat beaded on his chest hair. That's a meme. Okay. Wait, what? Hassan only benches 175? That can't possibly be real. Okay. Okay, this is... Scroll to his supplements. For anyone looking to get buff in clutch games like him. Clutch games? Is he still a gamer? Here's Piker's supplement stack. 1 espresso shot pre-workout, 4 creatine pills, fish oil, zinc, ashwagandha, minoxidil and finasteride, Maher. Okay. The fact that he said 4 pills and doesn't know the fucking amount. Well, I mean, if you buy the Optimum Nutrition ones, it's 2 pills are 2.5. So people, I think you just take 4 because it's 5, which is what they suggest. So he probably just knows the number of pills. What is this finasteride comment? What? I'm technically on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I have DHT blockers for hair loss. I've been taking for years. Oh, I thought this was like a joke about how these were hormones. I don't know if these are hormones. I don't think so. Wait. What does it mean when you say I am technically on HRT? Does he just mean he's on HRT? No, he means for hair loss. I have DHT blockers. Because don't people say DHT is the thing that leads to the balding or whatever? That's why some people say that like creatine will make your hair fall out. Okay. Why are we here? Stop. This isn't what I want to look at. Wait, what the fuck am I... What did I come here for? This is a great meme.
You have a cat?
No, I ate him. Hold on.
I think his content is only for your hardest haters audience.
The pretext of diplomatic
Jesus Christ. Okay. I just don't remember at all what I was looking for, but I'm sure. Oh! Bill Maher. Where's this Bill Maher thing? I feel like I saw this in my... Saw it yesterday. Fucking Fetterman. Oh,
You have a lot of bravado about what you think. You have a lot of bravado about what you think is the truth or not. But it's just so refreshing. Like, you were doing this before it was so dangerous.
Still dangerous.
And it is just way too dangerous now.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it.
It's slightly less dangerous than it was 2 years ago because we did have a vibe change. And because the Democrats lost so badly in 2024, the blush is off the rose on left-wing censorship and, oh my God, you can't say that. Stop telling me what I can do, what I can say, what I can think.
Like Donald Trump is suing people, right? For things that he doesn't like. When was that? When did Joe Rogan sign Spotify deal? When did he sign that massive, huge $100 million? The first one? Wasn't this when Biden was president? Oh, in 2020, so when Trump was president. But he stayed on the entire time. Like, I just don't know where all this... I don't understand how people get so mind-fucked by... What happened? Like, what were you scared of? What happened to you?
In November of 2018, in the wake...
Bill Maher, an autopsy. 8 days ago. An hour and 30-minute video. Holy shit, Bill Maher looks just like that one weird actor dude who's in so many random Spider-Man movies.
Think who my heroes are supposed to be. Just get the fuck off of me. Get back up off of me. That is a lot of just what viscerally is going on with me when I have issues with the left. Just get the fuck off of me. First of all, I don't believe you. You're not better. You're a lot of posers. Not all of you, but just get the fuck off of me.
Wow. Remember that time when Bill Maher went to have dinner with Trump and Trump was a nice guy? Fuck, kill me. Whatever. Texas Democrats to return after governor ends special session. That included redistricting. Sources say, oh, did they end The special session ended? I bet would then call a second special session immediately, he said in a statement. Did they just leave again? That'd be pretty funny. Fact check. Apparently Hassan's PB for bench is 285, not 175. 175 is a meme. PBs, saying what your personal best is like take whatever you benched at your best and add 2 plates to it and then say that was 5 or 10 years ago. Get the fuck out of here. My PB is 315, by the way. I can't bench that now, but that was my PB when I was right out of high school. Okay. 175 is... My personal best is I'm a weak motherfucker, low T motherfucker, but I could do 165 for 5. I almost feel like the article typoed or something. Hassan benching 175, even for 10 or 20 reps, that's an insanely low number. I would imagine that he probably focuses on upper body more than anything else, because every guy does. Him benching 175, I almost don't believe the article. Like I feel like the guy either typoed or he was doing like maybe really high volume work. Like maybe like 175 for 20 plus reps or something, maybe. But that's just a crazy low number for somebody that big that works out that much. That's just insane. But I don't know. I don't know. But it's funnier just to make fun of him for it, so fuck him. Why are you lifting 60 pounds under your personal best? Shouldn't you just be under PB at nearly all times? Too many Hassan dicks. Well, I mean, if you get older, you train less. Depends on what you're doing. Okay, where are we? Oh. Newsom says California will draw new electoral maps after Trump missed deadline. Governor calls Trump taco online, short for Trump always chickens out, prompted by president's flip-flop deadlines. Have you seen our deficit for July is $300 billion? Wait, for what? For the year or? I have no concept of what are we measuring? What is our deficit? Fred USA. This is dumb accounting shit. Smooth this. How can I? Quarterly. Semi-annual? Fucking quarterly, I guess. Fuck it. It's still dumb. Okay, but whatever. Jesus. I still don't know if that number is high or low, though. I don't know what it's... Should I know what it's supposed to be normally, or... This month, current fiscal year to date, comparable prior period year to date. Okay, that's a good one, right? Okay, total on budget and off budget financing. So is this how much money we have to borrow? Means financing, borrowing from the public or reduction of operating cash. Total surplus or deficit. The same period last year would have been 1.5. Not 1.5 billion. That's way too low. 1.5 trillion. Damn. Wait. What is our? Oh, this is through half the year, not quarterly. Okay. So say, are we really borrowing 5 or whatever trillion or 6 trillion a year to fund the government? Okay. Year to date, 1.51 or 1.52 trillion last year, and then this year it's higher by about 110 billion so far, I think, right? Budget estimates for the full fiscal year. Last year, 1.6 trillion was the budget estimates next fiscal year. Oh, no, wait. Budget estimates full fiscal year. So the guess is that by the end of the fiscal year, our deficit will be about 1.9 trillion. Is what this means, I think, right? If I'm understanding that correctly. Based.
Joining me now, right here on set, is Treasury Secretary.
Maybe don't pull it up unless you were pissed at Tectone. Well, why would
Straight up, like, okay, World War II was what?
I'm not pissed at him. Why would I be pissed at him?
1876?
You try again.
1865.
Wait,
That
World
was the
War II?
That was the Civil War.
Yeah.
You said 18.
1876?
1876. Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you think it started?
Wasn't it like 1900s?
Well, guess a number.
1900. That's 100.
She's not wrong.
Yeah, but you said 1800s. I was just shocked by that.
No. Now Emmy's trying to farm and make Tectone look stupid. Emmy, what year did this start?
The fucking 40s or something.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was just shocked you said 1800s.
When was it?
Well, it began in 1939.
I was almost there.
Okay.
Right? But however, on December 7th, 1941, that was Pearl Harbor. So she would be correct if she was talking about the United States.
Where was Pearl Harbor at?
Hawaii.
I always thought it was Japan. This was a big issue I had. I found out that it was not in Japan.
I mean, it's halfway between, kind of. So it's,
Secretary Scott Bessent. Mr. Secretary, thank you. Appreciate you coming here.
Larry, always good to see you.
This is a little different studio. Don't be alarmed. It's still the Kudlow Show on Fox Business. All right. CPI, great numbers today. The experts, most of them proven wrong.
Larry, not only were the fantastic numbers, is that a lot of the economists said, well, I got the number right, but I missed the components. And everyone was expecting that there would, as you just said, that there'd be goods inflation, but there was actually this very odd service inflation. There was some healthcare services. There were airline prices, which as far as I can tell has nothing to do with tariffs. I'm starting to think TDS used to mean tariff derangement syndrome. Now it's kind of turning into tariff don't call syndrome. I mean,
Tariff don't call syndrome? Is that what did he say?
I'm starting to think TDS used to mean tariff derangement syndrome. Now it's kind of turning into tariff Dunkoff syndrome.
Dunkoff?
I mean, they just, when you're in a hole, stop digging.
Yes, I agree. Stocks are booming. Your 10-year note is 429. It's basically held stable nicely. Can you get Steve Myron in the Fed, confirmed by the Senate, in time for the FOMC meeting next month?
We'll see. That's going to be up to Leader Thune and the banking committee. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that he can be, and he's going to be a great voice. I've known Steve a long time, and he's thoughtful, methodical, and has a lot to say about the Fed.
I think I think that his appointment, as I said in the riff, I believe sincerely makes Jay Powell a lame duck, and if nothing else, changes the whole center of gravity of the Federal Reserve Board in terms of policy, much less politics. But let's leave the politics aside. In terms
Geisley is the manufacturer of my AR-15. Sorry, I fuck up the pronunciation of that all the time. Geisley.
Policy. Jay Powell's been hanging on. Nobody really understands why. Nobody knows what his models are. There's no transparency. Steve Myron, you're right, he's a smart chap.
Why do all these fucking retards? Did Biden do this? Did Obama do this? Is this just a thing and I just missed it? Everybody has these stupid fucking flag pins.
He was your guy for CEA. Now you're putting him on the Fed. I think it changes everything. And I think it does make Powell a lame duck.
Well, look, as you said, it's going to change the composition of the Fed. It's going to change the narrative. And now we've seen two things. We've seen with these big economic revisions, and I'm sure we'll come back and talk about poor quality of data, because if we'd had the original numbers, Fed
Flaggings are super normal. I hate them. I don't like it. I think it's cringe.
Could have been cutting in June, July. So
we know what country you're from.
So I think the real thing now to think about is, should we get a 50
unless it's the DGG flag pin, then it's based
basis point rate cut in September to make up for the delay and the lack of data. And again, back to these CPI numbers are fantastic.
Question: you're interviewing a bunch of Fed candidates now. Maher could stay on. You could renominate him if you wanted to.
He could. And the important thing to remember is we have two seats. So there's the seat for the chair, and then there will be another appointee joining. So we actually get two appointments, and President Trump will have a majority of the board in D.C.
Yes, indeed. So you're interviewing a whole bunch of candidates. There's a lot of talk about it. Chris Waller, Kevin Warsh, Kevin Hassett, and so forth, and other names. You're casting a wide net.
Very, very wide net. And as you know, more than anyone, President has a very open mind. He even considered reappointing Janet Yellen. So we want to see what everyone's thinking. It's not ideological. It's about economics, what's best for the American people, what's best for the economy. And as I talk to the candidates, I'm looking at three things: monetary policy, regulatory policy, and the ability to run and revamp the organization, because it's
apparently everybody wears these. I just never noticed.
Really gotten bloated, and I think that this bloat puts its monetary independence at risk.
Well, you've said, I think correctly, that the Fed needs an audit top to bottom. Now, you were referring to non-monetary policy. I would say to you, Mr. Secretary, you ought to include monetary policy. These models that suggest strong growth causes high inflation.
Trillions of dollars are being taken in on tariffs. Trillions now. Okay, that's a number.
Outdated, if they ever work. They're 50 years out of date. I think you just need a thoroughgoing audit of the whole institution, the size of it, the reserve banks around the country, the staffing. I think I saw a chart. The Fed staffing overall is up 300% in recent years. This, not exactly a Doge candidate.
Well, Larry, this is what happens when you have no accountability. So the Fed does not answer to Congress in terms of its budget. And I like to tell people, President Trump is focused on the building and the problems at the building. I'm focused on the problems in the foundation. There's a foundational issue here.
Well, he said today, speaking of all that, he said today he's thinking about a lawsuit against Jay Powell. And he said that the $3 billion of renovations for the three buildings all could have been done for $50 million. He knows a thing or two about this subject. You think he's going to bring a lawsuit?
I don't know, Larry.
Have you talked to him about it?
I've been traveling today. I don't know about that. But what I do know is I'm renovating my office at Treasury, and I'm paying for it personally. So that's the way we...
What? When he says renovating his office, does he mean like buying new picture frames or what?
Roll over at 1500 Pennsylvania.
I know that office quite well. Anyway, let's talk trade. China extended to November 10th, 2025. That's another 3 months, essentially. What are the key issues in the discussions with China, which you are leading?
China's like a multi-level chess game, because traditionally our biggest economic rivals have been our allies. So during 60s, 70s, 80s, even through the 90s, beginning of the aughts, our biggest economic rivals were the Europeans, Japanese, the Soviet Union up until the wall came down, was a military power but a small economy. And with China, we've never seen anything like this in modern times. It's our biggest economic rival and our biggest military rival. So we're solving for several variables here. What we are trying to do is to get to more balanced trade. President Trump wants the U.S. economy to rebalance towards more manufacturing. It's my belief, and most outside observers' belief, that the Chinese economy is the most unbalanced economy in modern times. They need to rebalance toward the consumer. So could we do that together? We've talked a lot about that. President Trump has an excellent relationship with Party Chair Xi, so that's very helpful. We'll be meeting with the counterparts again within the next 2 or 3 months.
Okay, this guy's retarded. I don't care. We'll see what happens. More cheating footage. For anybody not somehow convinced that Riley CS doesn't cheat in Battlefield, here's a clip from their Twitter of them cheating in Battlefield. Wow. My God.
Yeah, I'm right. I mean, here's the reality. Like, I'm moving to San Antonio in 2 months, so I'll be out of Austin regardless. Yeah, I'm moving to San Antonio in 2 months. Probably 10 years after that, I'm probably going to retire in New York because that's where my future family is. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. But yeah, really, what on this house right now? I'm selling it. Oh, dude, I'm selling this shit outskirts of New York, outskirts of New York, not actual New York City. Like, yeah, not in like outskirts, right?
The outskirts. I'm sorry. Hello, I've been a fan of yours for a few years. With your permission, of course, I would like to ask for help from you and DGG. That's so incredibly vague. So I don't even know how I'm supposed to answer that. Do you live in New York City? No, I live in the outskirts. Long Island? What does that mean? Based. All right. New Jersey? Yeah. Newark?
I think his content is only for your hardest haters audience. It's so funny how these conversations are just them spinning their wheels. They have so little actual political knowledge that they can't even discuss politics or do anything meaningful except hang off of our nuts. Meanwhile, the left is electing the new New York City mayor. You're meeting international politics and actually organizing and pushing for real shit. I know, but I just wish I wasn't getting fucking ass blasted with regular frequency by these dumb fucks who can manipulate people in the margins.
No.
You know what I mean?
The margins.
I can't quote tweet it because he blocked me and I blocked him. So I can't even fucking quote tweet him. He just does this from behind the block. It's just like, there's a lot of money to be made doing this too. A lot of these people are basically doing the premature anti-fascist commentary. Oh, you were an anti-fascist, but prematurely, before everyone else came on board with it.
Oh, we watched this yesterday already.
And therefore, you must be...
This guy's fucking retarded.
Oh, wait, that looks really bad, bro. Ooh, shit. Ooh, whoa. Oh, that's what I get for talking shit, bro. Oh my god, dog.
Jesus. Okay, wait, I have some stuff open. What is this?
This month I said, bro, if you ever need something, I got your back online. I said, respectfully, in real life, I got you, bro. But when it comes to this content shit, I'm not in the mental state to be in front of your niggas. As soon as a nigga of color hop onto the stream, it's straight watermelon and gorillas, nigga. I'll watch.
I just wish he didn't say that, though. I really wish he didn't say that as soon as there's somebody with color on your stream. We don't have to make this about race at all.
That's my favorite white person quote. True. Why you gotta make it all about race?
We don't have to make this about race at all. Like, there's no reason to do that at all. I get what he's saying. Like, when there's somebody with color on their stream, they spam monkey and watermelons and stuff. When there's a Jew on stream, they'll spam the craziest shit in my chat. When there's a Mexican on stream, they'll spam shit in my chat. When there's a Chinese person on stream...
So they're just racist against everyone? Why do you think that's helpful? Why do you think that's helping you?
They'll spam the craziest shit in my chat. When there's a Mexican on stream, they'll spam shit in my chat. When there's a Chinese person on stream, they'll spam my shit in my chat.
Like, I bring some girls over, but they feel really uncomfortable around you guys. Why? That's fucking retarded. We rape men too. Like, why do you think this is a good look?
It's not just one specific race, guys. It's every fucking race. Kick is like the fucking Adult Swim.
No, that's not Adult Swim. Adult Swim is not just racist comedy. Oh my god. Does he even know what Adult Swim is? Wait, how isn't Aiden like 20 years old?
Yeah, so what I want to bring it back to evidence. You said that you've seen evidence. Like, what kind of evidence have you seen?
I have seen photos. I have seen...
what have you seen photos of?
So...
This... Never mind. The foundation mismatch is very extreme here. Can we just all chill?
Oh, I was in a skiff, and I can't discuss all that was in a skiff, but what I can tell you is based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind.
Wow. Reminder. Who was it? Ex-governor claims stars are UFOs. Where's this? Does anybody have this Twitter video? Oh, this is 2007. This is not what I'm looking for. Jesus. Wasn't that the mayor? I thought it was a former governor. Was it a mayor? UFO, Twitter video, night sky. Oh no, it was, right? Ex-governor of Maryland. Last night, beginning at 9:45 p.m., I personally witnessed and videoed what appear to be dozens of large drones in the sky above my residence in Davidsonville, Maryland, 25 miles from our nation's capital. I observed the activity for approximately 45 minutes. Like many who have observed these drones, I do not know if this increasing activity over our skies is a threat to public safety or national security, but the public is growing increasingly concerned and frustrated with the complete lack of transparency and the dismissive attitude of the federal government. They're stars. He's just looking at stars. Former governor, by the way. I like how we just moved on from this in 2 weeks, by the way. We thought there was an alien invasion. Then we said that it was an Iranian drone mothership. He's just like, they're just stars. Oh. With immense respect, Mr. Governor, this is the constellation Orion. My first cousin's oldest child, who is 16 years old, recently got into a car accident on August 11th. During the accident, she was ejected from the car and lost one of her legs. My cousin is posted a GoFundMe needing help covering medical costs. Bro, I can't host GoFundMes. Otherwise, everybody will start asking for GoFundMes, okay? I can't do that, but I love you, okay? Don't donate money to me. Go donate money to the GoFundMe. Also, she lost one of her legs on August 11th? It's been 2 days. If she hasn't found it by now, what do you think a GoFundMe is going to help with?
Okay, I'm just going to call this out as this interviewer is an asshole. Right off the rip, this is unethical. I don't like this journalist already. I will remember this name. I'm not saying it's a hit piece, but it's unfriendly. I'm not going to call it a hit piece yet, but I would say that this is extremely unfriendly and uncharitable. One expletive and brain rot filled live stream at a time. Wow, man. Really? Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. What a description of the live streams. I'm now ready to move this. I'm provisionally saying that this person is an unethical piece of shit. The vibes are off in this article really badly. I fucking hate this reporter. This reporter is a scumbag. Yo, I'm so pissed off right now. Holy shit, what an asshole, dude. I want you guys to understand something about journalists, is they're not good people.
Jesus.
The vast majority of journalists are actually scum. Soon I get up to leave, I walk out, and Piker is left alone, rambling at 3 screens. Rambling! Well, okay, I gotta say, I think that article was kind of dog shit, if I'm being honest. I think that was bad. I think it was bad.
Overall, great article. I'm very happy with it. I think this is a very positive profile. That's the top story on the front page of GQ right now, by the way. Hell yeah. Love that. I think it'll get a lot of looks.
Apparently his subreddit didn't like it very much either. If you've read the article, it spends the whole time doing just that, but also mischaracterizing and placing him in more of a dirtbag leftist box by highlighting his crassness. Then they spend a bunch of time using portions of full quotes without context, and very little substantive views on his politics. What are his substantive views? Working out, fashion, or anything interesting. There's a section where they blatantly invade his own privacy regarding his dating life. What the actual fuck? This GQ staffer, it'd be a shame to call him a writer. Goddamn sucks. Wait, what? I'm controlled F because I was curious. What? During our interview, I try to squeeze out whatever intel I can about Piker's romantic life, which is feverishly gossiped about on Reddit. I ask point blank if he's dating Valkyrie, the massively popular gaming streamer, and he looks freaked out. Oh, come on. Please don't put that in the article, Piker says. Unless GQ has like a different policy than any other profile or journalist or anything I've ever worked with. Generally, you can say like, hey, can we keep this off the record? So if this is in here, it's because Hassan wanted it in here. That's kind of funny. Think of me as an asexual being? Why would an asexual being post thirst traps? Okay. I vacuumed my cat once as a joke. Now he demands it every time I vacuum my home.
You requested on down. I'm glad I look at the 401ks and I see how much they've gone up. And I'm glad I look at inflation and see how much it's gone down. I'm glad interest rates are going to come down. I mean, we're getting our country back. We were in a dark spot. You know this better than anybody. You cover the markets every single day. And
well, let me just be clear. Under Biden in the last year, the S&P had 56 record highs. But that said, I'm
glad I look at the four.
Okay. I'm just trying to see. Okay.
Jobs. They have done a countries.
Don't care. Okay, 2 more quick things. Fuck.
CDC workers are demanding answers after a gunman opened fire in Atlanta, killing a police officer and riddling CDC headquarters with bullets.
We'll run an active shooter response.
A senior law enforcement official briefed on the investigation says family members told police the alleged gunman, 30-year-old Patrick White, previously made suicidal statements and recently blamed health issues on the COVID-19 vaccine. White died at the scene from gunshot wounds. It comes as the mother of police officer David Rose is remembering her son and honoring his brave response.
If you would ask him, he would do it again, he would do it again. That's the kind of person he is.
Today, the head of the CDC Workers Union says they don't feel safe going back to work.
Is there a certain set of parameters that need to be met for you guys to feel comfortable with returning to the office?
Yes, for one, security measures. This time the person did not penetrate the gates, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen the next time.
Earlier today, the Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. visited the CDC headquarters. In a statement, a spokesperson said Secretary Kennedy, quote, has unequivocally condemned the horrific attack, adding he remains fully committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of CDC employees. But some past and current CDC employees tell NBC News they believe his anti-vaccine rhetoric is partially to blame for the attack.
Not only does he have to condemn the attack, but he has to condemn the misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines, about CDC workers. And we're also learning that Secretary Kennedy visited.
The reason why he has more fault here is because it's not like, it's never just that, you know, maybe the vaccines weren't as good as they said they were, whatever. It's never that. It's that Fauci personally was profiting from gain-of-function research and they were buying off the CDC, who were knowingly poisoning Americans. Like, it's always the malicious tinge that they've put on fucking everything.
The widow of the fallen police officer today. Tom?
Okay, Priya, thank you. We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news. And
why don't we have the name of this guy, by the way? Wait, do we not know who this is? Because if this was a shooting at like an ice place and it was some guy called Jerome Washington. Oh, wait, we have his name, Patrick White. Sorry, forget what I just said.
COVID-19 vaccine.
See, sometimes racism is good. I'm trying to figure it out.
COVID-19.
What was this guy? Do we have his social media and everything? Who did this guy follow?
Vaccine.
Patrick White. Based.
White.
Sorry, I should have said Jerome Black.
Died at the scene from gunshot wounds. It comes.
He was a DGGer. His name is Fish. We gotta see if he was a DGGer. True. Jesus. This guy was 30? This guy looks like he's 19. Am I crazy? The 5 weapons used in the shooting belonged to White's father. 5? And he killed himself? This guy brings 5 guns to a shooting, kills one person, and then himself? Bruh. That vaccine must have fucked him up more than we thought. Rifles, shotgun, and possibly a handgun. Nearly 200 rounds struck 6 CDC buildings, and that 500 shell casings were recovered at the scene. What did this guy do? Holy shit. Director Hosey said a search of his residence found written documentation that expressed the shooter's discontent with the COVID-19 vaccinations. Fuck. Do we not have like social media accounts or anything? Whatever. I greatly sympathize with Ukraine. The Russians attacked their country and are attempting to take their land. I'm proud we helped them. But if you're wondering why they're getting this much support for this long, remember Russia was helping Syria and Iran. Israel didn't like that. Now we're keeping Russia's military busy in Ukraine, and voila, there goes the Syrian regime and Iran's air force. Yes, there are legitimate reasons to help Ukraine, but there are other reasons as well. Everyone knows what Israel wants, Israel gets. Nice, they're both aligned on the Zog thing at least. Okay. Okay, last meme. What is this?
I just find that the kind of nature of this just insulting back and forth to be beneath
this king literally doing the show from his car. Hell yeah.
The magnitude of this conversation. It is undeniable that the West did a lot to provoke this conflict. It's just undeniable. Our CIA director through all of Joe.
Oh, the CIA director in the book, the detail tell all, the CIA director.
Biden's term, Bill Burns, was the one who wrote the Niet means Niet memo, who warned Condoleezza Rice, do not keep pushing in this direction. And we continued pushing regardless. It's resulted in this catastrophe. Like I said before, Pierce, I'm not absolving Vladimir Putin of any responsibility. He launched this war and he's responsible for the destruction. But for God's sake, Pierce, you start this at the beginning asking like, but what's the actual plan? Like, what's the military plan for how you can evict the Russians? Nobody here has anything. So what do you want to do? Let's try to negotiate an end to this so people stop dying. It is the best case scenario. And it's our only chance to get out of this at this point is if we can work out some deal. So for God's sake, let's try to push toward that. No, with all of these wars, Pierce, you know, all the wars over the last 25 years of my life, it's always like the propaganda keeps on moving and moving and moving. There's a lot of bluster about who the good guys and who the bad guys are. But when you start the program by asking a simple question like, what is the exit strategy here? What is the plan? No one really has anything. No one has anything other than maybe we could keep sending weapons and money in, and this slow grind of people dying will continue. And Vladimir Putin will then, at the end of that, take the territory he wants. Let's try to negotiate an end to this nightmare that never needed to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what Neville Chamberlain did.
I'll shut up. Just the dumbest, like, what are you, an 80 IQ? Neville Chamberlain. That's right. Anybody ever arguing against war is always Neville Chamberlain. That is the one and only lesson of history.
Well, when your only argument against war is, stop people dying, stop people dying. Whenever somebody says that, you instantly are making the most fucking possible retarded argument you ever can make against war. Stop people from dying. Like, what, for the American Civil War, when the South says, we can't go to war with them, we don't want people to die. For all of World War I or II, we don't like people to die. We can't intervene. For any war ever, for the American Revolution, we can't revolt against the British. We don't like people to die. Like, it's the most retarded fucking... if you make a retarded argument, you're going to get a retarded counter argument. You treat retards like retards. If you act like a retard, don't be surprised when people call you a fucking retard.
And appeasement never works, and aggression is always right. Why don't you take some of the lessons from...
Appeasement doesn't work with a dictator. You obviously don't know Vladimir Putin.
Appeasement, we appease dictators all over the planet right now. I just said something that I actually meant that I think was more than just surface level, and your response is with the dumbest slogan. We appease dictators all over the world. We overthrow democratically elected governments and prop up dictators. What are you even talking about?
Wait, so is he saying that appeasing dictators works to extend the power and control that they have? That's like an argument that's completely cutting against you here. What do you mean? Like, if you appease a dictator, well, there have been times in our past where we've propped up dictators and made them powerful. Okay, but it's not called appeasement when they're your allies. That's just called helping your ally. Like, what a retarded fucking point.
You're using all these ad hominem attacks, but basically we're in a war.
Ad hominem? What are you talking about?
You're 80 IQ. That's a bunch of nonsense. You obviously don't know the issues.
I'm saying the argument is that of a person with an 80 IQ.
Basic.
You don't know the issues. You obviously are not educated on the issues. The reason why Vladimir Putin is at war is for his own personal survival. He's not going to back off from this war. To then appease him at this moment, to give him Ukraine is just a complete...
You're not giving him anything. It's not yours to give. He took it, and you can't get it back. Deal with that reality. Sorry.
You could impose crippling sanctions on him. You could give the Ukrainians
more sanctions.
And then you could negotiate from a position of strength. You don't negotiate from a position of weakness, which is what's being...
There's Joe Biden's plan. We could end the war with sanctions.
You don't have to call it Joe Biden's anything. You don't have to politicize logic.
I'm not political.
Oh, damn.
criticizing anything. I'm saying this is
You're saying Joe Biden
okay,
is
now let me
right.
respond. Yeah. Yes, he was. I'm not sure if you're familiar. He was the former president of the United States, and this was his plan. We ran this experiment. It did not work. It led to hundreds of thousands of people more dying, and now we're here.
The experiment that we ran is to give the Ukrainians.
I'm sorry. Fair enough. Can I,
May I speak for the Ukrainians
the general,
here?
quick question? Because one second, the general, you're more of an expert in this than me. Sanctions can drive Putin out. Are you going to back that up with your name behind it? Sanctions can reclaim all Ukrainian territory?
No, I mean, I've been a firm disbeliever in the notion of sanctions around the world, whether it's in Iran, whether it was with the Taliban, but combined with other elements such as military power, diplomatic power, there's a chance that as a component of a plan, you might get to something where you say nobody's got a proposal here. I think what we're going to see is a frozen conflict. And let's be very clear. You got a frozen conflict in Kashmir. For years, you had a frozen conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh. And now there's been a resolution to that frozen conflict. And hopefully we can see at least a ceasefire that can hold off the killing of both brave Ukrainian soldiers and brave Russian soldiers. I never did insult the Russian people. I insulted the Russian government. The fact is, their government has drugged them into a war that, if polled, probably wouldn't poll that well. But back to your point, sanctions probably won't work if that's the only trick we have in our bag. Military power that demonstrates we're willing to back the Ukrainians for as long as it takes with what they need, as well as other elements of national power, that has a chance, number one, to stop the war.
I like how Dave Smith asked him the most one-dimensional question possible, and he didn't really engage with the one-dimensionality of it, and Dave Smith acted like it was a W.
Number two, perhaps get it into a ceasefire/frozen conflict. And number three, over time, perhaps negotiate a settlement that works for both sides.
I think that time is now,
Okay,
sir.
Anna,
And I think that's hopefully what they can do.
I'm going to give. Well, let's see what happens. I agree with you. I hope that it can be done. Anna, final word to you.
Thank you so much. Here in Ukraine, we understand that any frozen conflict will not bring us lasting peace. We were at war with Russia, be it Soviet Union or Russian Empire, for 300 years. So every time someone says this is a NATO-provoked, US-provoked conflict, no one in Ukraine buys that. Another important point I don't hear others mentioning is that Russia is perhaps the weakest ever at this point. And Vladimir Putin is way more far away from the purposes, the tasks of his special military operation that he was in 2022. He wanted to demilitarize Ukraine. Now we are pretty militarized, and also a lot of military facilities are built inside Ukraine. And I hope a time will come when we will use our ballistic missiles without asking a permission or getting some restrictions on targeting Russian oil refineries, which is super unfair. Also, back in 2022, Russia controlled not just more of the Ukrainian territory, but actually more of the Russian territory. This war exposed that Putin's blitzkrieg failed, and his intelligence perhaps informed him really bad about the attitude inside Ukraine. Then we demonstrated that Russia has super vulnerable borders, and the intelligence is not working properly. Russia is now literally a no-fly zone. First of all, because of the Ukrainian drones targeting legitimate military facilities and other stuff, and they literally closed their airports. There are explosions, air raid alerts in dozens of the Russian regions. When did it start? After Putin decided he will defend Russia this way. So literally all of his plans collapsed. And moreover, former satellites of Russia, countries like Armenia, like Kazakhstan, they realized what threats Russia imposes for their sovereignty and independence, and they actually started going away from Russia. That's exactly what we witness right now. Nobody from the former Soviet public, the countries that Putin can consider as the future zones for his attacks, consider him strong enough. And right now they are actually for other alliances and unions, because Russia has already lost the control over Syria. Russia did not manage to help Iran. Russia has serious problems with oil refineries. Don't you think they want to protect them? But every night we have them exploding with inexpensive, inside Ukraine developed drones. And I do agree when many of you compare this moment and this meeting to the meeting between Chamberlain and Hitler, with one very, very important difference. Ukraine is no more a Czechoslovakia in 1938. During these 3.5 years, we became way stronger. And despite Russian propaganda, during this 1.5 years of summer offensive, Russia managed to get 1% of the Ukrainian territory and lose.
Okay, base. Okay, I gotta go downstairs and set shit up. Wait, this is... I'm so sorry, but this... Really? Hold on. South Carolina lawmaker awaiting trial on child sex abuse material charges resigns from office. A Republican lawmaker in South Carolina has resigned from the House while awaiting trial on charges of distributing child sexual abuse material. The screen name he used? Joe Biden, NNN 69. To exchange 220 different files of toddlers. Oh. Bruh. Republican moment. Okay. I'll see you in 25 minutes. Kick.com/destiny. Anything else? My good, wonderful, real life friend, Dan. Be careful. See you guys in a bit. I love you. Stay safe.